Hey guys, how's it going? So, a lot of people have been asking me to make a tier list for supports, and even though I'm not a big fan of tier lists, just mainly because of all the changes that often happen and it's often opinionated, I did decide to make one, and I'm gonna try to make it not so much a personal tier list, but one that, even though you may not agree to it, you can at least look back and just or take a step back and understand why I put those champions in in that tier. And so, like I said, it's not gonna be a personal tier list. It's more a what I see is really strong and how most people should see them as. And some of the factors that I'm gonna put in for this tier list are just the difficulty, which is basically how hard is it to play, like how easy is it to dodge the spells, or how reliable it is, how easy is it to outplay it. So yeah, it's not just difficulty in terms of mechanics, but difficulty in terms of how easy it is to get outplayed. Another criteria would be the early game. How strong is this champion level 1, level 2, before level 6? Does it do well in lane? Can it fight? How strong is it 2v2, 2v1? And then another criteria would be scaling. How well does it scale in terms of utility, in terms of damage? How strong is it for late game team fights? And how good is its utility? And those are the main criteria I'm going to be looking at. And alright, I'm just going to start. So, switch this back. Alright, so the OP tier list. What OP tier I mean? What would I consider as OP? So, stuff that's easy to play, hard to get outplayed, has strong early game, and has good scaling. So, I mean, favorite right now would be Annie. So with the nerfs to Sona and stuff like that, Annie's lane has been really strong. There's not many lanes that can actually beat her now. And her ultimate, her stun, is impossible to dodge. It's unlike Sona, where if you flash Sona ult, you can flash it, you can spell shield it if you're fast enough on Sivir. While Annie, there's no outplay. And not only that, is that, say you're playing against a Sivir, and you know she has spell shield up. All you have to do is go to 3 charges, use her Q, and if she spell shields out, you get free stun. If he doesn't, then you can press E during the Q and stun her. So I think Annie is the most OP support right now, for sure. Just very hard to outplay, good early, good late game. Second would be Taric. Taric, he is very easy to play. I mean, he has a non-skill shot stun. Everything about him is easy. No skill shots at all. He's very strong early game. He has a stun, he has damage, he has a heal, good at lane, good in 2v1, and his scaling is extremely good too. His only weakness is that he is melee, and he is weak early in lane, but he has a heal for that. So he's definitely also another OP right now. For A tier, I would put, let's see, I'll go with Thresh. Thresh should be the first A tier, I guess, and he is good early. His damage is really good. His ult is very strong. He has a lot of catching potential. His late game isn't as good, but he still has a lot of utility. His damage just drops down a lot, but he has lots of CC still. And one big reason why he's so low, or he isn't OP, is just because he's difficult. He's easy to outplay. His hook is very easy to dodge, and it's not reliable. I mean, his CC just isn't reliable, and that's one big reason why he's only tier A. Another one would be Sona. Sona, kind of the same reasons. I mean, Sona is very strong early game, still useful late game. It's just very easy to outplay. Flash Sona ults are not reliable. It's nothing like Annie's ult, where it's instant. You flash Annie ult, you know you're gonna get the stun off, unless they see you coming and they flash before you even go. Sona, you flash, they can follow up flash. It's just not reliable. That's why she's also tier A. Lulu. Lulu's kind of reliable in a lot of ways, but the big reason why she isn't OP, or even just higher on the tier A, is just because her early game is a bit weak compared to the rest of the champions above. All of them sort of can beat up Lulu. That's exception on Taric. Taric's kind of weak to Lulu, but every other champion does really well. And Lulu's still good, just not the best support champion right now, which is quite unfortunate. She is quite fun to play, and I mean, just her early game is a bit weak. So I'm gonna go down to B tier now. So Fiddlesticks. Fiddlestick's early lane is extremely garbage. His level 1 and level 2, you're just gonna get bullied. He's just not good early game. His late game is really strong, even almost as good as Annie, and his reliability is also very high. He has a instant sphere that has a small animation, but you generally can't dodge it, and 3 seconds, like very hard to outplay Fiddlesticks. But his weakness is his early game. Another good one is actually Karma. We actually don't see her much, and the big reason why we don't see her much is because her early laning is strong and her late game is strong, but she is difficult to play, very easy to outplay. All her spells can be dodged, and I mean, even though her late game is decent, she does get outscaled by some of the other champions on this list, since she doesn't really have a real ultimate, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. Janna. Janna's a really good champion. She is, I would say she is, her early laning is still a bit weak. Her late game is extremely strong, and she's so difficult to outplay. Doesn't do much damage though. That's kind of the big weakness of her, is just early game is just also a bit weak. Blitzcrank and Zyra. I'm just gonna push this down, and Blitzcrank, he is just not as reliable. Early game isn't that strong unless you get good hooks in, and Zyra's huge nerfs to her early game just made her not as strong. And I could put Zyra a bit higher up on the B tier list, but I just haven't seen Zyra much at all in high elo, and I don't think she's nearly as strong as before. And I do think that the rest of the champions on this list are better than her in just most situations. Obviously, Zyra does shine in early laning, but again, her reliability is very low, and her damage just dropped so much that it just isn't as strong now, despite her being one of the most dominant supports just a couple months back. We're on a C tier, Nami, Alistar, Soraka, Nunu, and what's the next tier? Nunu and Morgana. So the problems with these champions are just the early games are very weak. Nami, Alistar, Soraka, and Nunu, the level 1s are pretty garbage. Nami arguably is decent, and Soraka you can arguably just level up Q level 1 and do fine. But generally, they will lose to most of these other champions, with the exception of like Fiddlesticks, where he's mainly for the late game. And Morgana is actually pretty good early game, but she's very unreliable in that her ultimate, her Q, they're just very dependent on being able to land those skill shots or being able to get in range. And for these champions, even though late game might not be as strong, Alistar is not as strong late game as the rest of the champions here. Nami is good late game, Soraka is decent, Nunu's great. But just the weaknesses that they have, either from unreliability, weak early game, or not as good scaling, has caused them to be in the C tier on this list. And the final champion I'm going to put here is just Elise. A lot of people have been asking about it, and I mean, just her reliability and her damage isn't worth lowered. Isn't that great? Yeah, wow, Cloud9 is here. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for this, and I guess F list would be everything else. I guess LeBlanc would be in here too, probably under a C tier. But everything else is generally not as good. I mean, arguably, there's some champions that can be good, but I don't really see much being strong right now, other than the champions I have listed here. And sure, there's others that could be here, like Ash support and other stuff, but until I see those in action, until I play those a bit more, I'm not going to really be comfortable putting them in this tier list. So that's kind of about it. And so thanks guys for watching, and that's about it.